Alrighty, folks, we are back again with Dark Tide. It has been a little while, but we're back. So, of course, who are you? What are you? And to celebrate National Vanilla Ice Cream Day, what is your favourite ice cream? Starting with Eden.
Thinking about the ice cream straight away, but I'm Eden, and my character is Wraith, our mage, mortician, lawyer, general fretter, and my favourite ice cream. It's been a while since I've had any, to be honest. I feel like it shouldn't be a difficult question, but here I am stuck. I do like mint chocolate. It's a bit simple, but yeah. I'll go with mint chocolate chip. Why not?
Amy.
That's my favourite.
Stolen away.
We're all the
steal
same.
my favourite.
You can have a favourite as well. We can share an ice cream, it's fine.
Exactly, it's fine.
So, who are you, Amy?
Hello, I am Amy. I play Ruth Yosef, our very grumpy Dalish elf healer. And as I said, my favourite is chocolate chip, mint chocolate chip. But Ruth's favourite would probably just be plain vanilla, actually, because he's very boring that way.
Fair enough. And finally, Tom.
Hello, it's me, Tom. I am still Anna Schwartz, who is a shooty rank and file Grey Warden. I like mint chocolate chip too. Why have you stolen?
We'll just have a big like chocolate fountain of
Oh man,
mint chocolate chip.
I could really do with like a big heaped bowl of mint chocolate chip ice cream right now.
Yeah, got me craving it. Oh well.
Farm.
Why have you got to do? Why you got to do this to me? Why you got to do this to me?
The reason I kind of chose this one is I'm just going to read you this one sidetrack for this. National Vanilla Ice Cream Day, July 23rd. Vanilla ice cream on July 23rd tips its hat to the second most popular flavour in America. Take a bow of vanilla ice cream, you scream for vanilla ice cream. Of course, this is a part of National Ice Cream Month and not too far behind National Ice Cream Day. Then the next paragraph says, hashtag Vanilla Ice Cream Day. Then below that it says, since Americans love vanilla ice cream so much, it couldn't surprise that vanilla is the most common flavouring in an ice cream. Like, my brain took a minute to realise it's going from second most popular to most common. And that's when my brain was just like, I was just staring at it like a dog staring at something else.
I guess it's common, but not necessarily super enjoyed.
I think vanilla's enjoyed. Anyway, that's enough about ice cream. What happened last time?
We got out of there like a bat out of hell, I think.
Yeah, we there was a dealings with the Tevinter going around trying to kidnap poor Alistair / I can't remember what we called him. Robin, yes. And poor Yevon was having the chantry and a whole group of followers turn up and talk about they had these elven dreamers and they were like saying that they were like prophets kind of thing, and we went and rescued them because these were poor mages that were just suffering really. So we kind of rescued them, kind of cocked it up a bit, which made a
Isn't
whole
unusual.
It's not unusual. No, it's not. But it did create a lot of problems for Yevon, and Yevon basically just told us to get the fuck out of Dodge, take Alistair with us because the Tevinter were like just causing an issue as well, and the Quinari were sniffing around. Everybody was sniffing around trying to get to Alistair. So we have escaped, hopefully unnoticed. Or as I believe we have been unnoticed because they've all followed a different cart. So we've went that way and the other cart, and everybody else went the other way. And but we have no direction, and we have currently no destination. So we are adrift on the road right now. Again.
All right.
I think that sums it up.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
go from there then. So, you travel along the road. You basically just manage to just keep driving for the day, and that evening you all find yourself in a small village, decent distance from where you left off. And as you sort of settle down to sort of have a relatively quiet night, you hear the sound of cheering coming from the tavern. You quickly look around and realise Robin is not with you.
Oh, for God's sake.
Fuck's sake. I thought you were supposed to. Oh, he was supposed to be under the tub.
Yes, how's he snuck out from under there and...
How did he lift it by himself? Oh no, he is a Grey Warden. Never mind.
I swear
Come
to
on.
God, I'm gonna do something permanent to that boy if he's been getting himself into trouble.
I could put him into a coma.
Is that
But
worth
then-
it?
Well, then we have to take care of him as he's sleeping, and I doubt any of us want to change him or bathe him or any of that.
We could just let him, you know.
Ew, in his own filth.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't allow that.
No, as a physician, I couldn't also allow that. It's disgusting.
Well, yeah, it is disgusting, but maybe we'll get him to behave.
Well, he is a menace to himself, but I think putting him under some kind of permanent coma might be just a little bit too far.
We'll reserve it for when we most need it. I'm not above sedating him. Sometime, at least.
Alright. I guess we see what trouble he's caused for us now.
So as you walk up to the door and are about to push the door open, you hear 3 cheers for Rupert! Hip hip! Hooray! And they all start cheering loudly. And as you open the door, you see Robin standing on top of the table, holding up a large flagon of ale with lots of villagers around the edge of the table cheering at him.
I swear to
What did he just say?
he's already
He said
forgotten his own
Richard.
name, lol.
He called him Richard.
Oh, what kind of game is he playing now? Playing another role?
Ruth's just gonna stand with his arms folded and just look and just be like, God's sake.
Well, I guess we'll sit down, and when he inevitably causes trouble, just
He glugs
Kick him in
back
the
the
nuts.
ale in his hand and then points to you and goes, "And there's my friends. Wonderful, wonderful friends of wonderful people. You couldn't ask for better friends. They are friends of Rupert."
The
Thanks.
idiot's drunk again.
I'm just gonna sigh.
At this point, you notice one of the sort of tavern, usual sort of people you kind of see around tavern lean up and go, "Here, is this Rupert a friend of yours? Is he actually what he says he is?"
What has he said?
Oh, he said he's on his way to help the Darkspawn. Well, you know, help get rid of him and all that. Darkspawn ain't real, are they?
No,
Well-
no, very much real.
Very, very real, let us assure you. We're
Oh,
all Grey Wardens.
all right. Well, thank you very much. And he sort of tips his hat and sort of scurries out the back door.
yeah.
Oh well.
Somehow I didn't expect that to go any different. Oh God. Well, I guess technically he is on his way to get rid of the Darkspawn. In theory, he's just not very good at it.
Shall we get him off the table?
Hmm.
Well, yes,
Is he
let's
really
back him
causing much harm up there? Can we just go back to bed?
No, one of us should at least keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't accidentally get himself killed.
Yeah,
Again.
we can't have stories spreading far and wide of somebody going around carousing like this. The man already has a reputation. There'll be a trail that
Yes.
people will surely pick up on.
You're right. Annoyingly, you're right. Alright, who's taking first watch then?
As you move slightly closer, he sort of stagger yet with some grace, leaps off the table in front of you and says, "Welcome, friends. Would you like a drink on Rupert?"
No, thank you.
No.
Rupert, where did you get coin?
I haven't actually used any coin yet. I just turned up and said, "I'm Rupert." And everyone went, "You're interesting, I'll buy you a drink."
So, everyone's bought you a drink.
Yeah,
You've not
it's
bought a drink.
brilliant. I've not had to pay for anything yet.
We best check that we don't have a tab.
Oh, it's alright.
What?
Rupert's here to save the day.
Do you have coin, Rupert?
Rupert doesn't need coin. No, I mean, I'm Rupert. We lost Eden.
Oh, sorry, I'll be back in just a second. I need to check my phone, which is also my camera.
Alright, no problem. I'm Rupert. I mean, this has been the best life so far. I mean, who would go back to being Alistair? Never fun for anyone. And being Robin, having to be an actor all the time. And Benjamin. Who the fuck liked Benjamin? And he starts like grumbling to himself. And he goes, "But
Still
no,
pulled out.
I am Rupert. I am Rupert, the savior of where are we?"
I think we should get him back to the cart and lock him in the cart. Honestly.
Yes, approved. But let's get him under that tub and sit on top of it.
Anna, go check the bar and see if we don't have a tab. And
Oh,
let's check that we don't have a tab.
Okay.
Let's get you back to the cart, Rupert. I'm just gonna grab one side of his shoulder and like gently like coax him down off the table. Why don't we go have a lie down? I'll play some cards, yes? We'll play some cards.
Rupert's good at cards.
I bet you are. I bet you are. I bet you're better than I am. Come on.
So you sort of push him through the door. Everyone sort of quietens down. They don't really seem that bothered by him leaving. You walk up to the barman and the barman goes, "This is the best business I've had in years. I'm not fussed at all."
that's all right then. Entertaining show, I imagine.
Oh, well,
He
apart
does
from
get, he
leaving
does get a bit.
footprints on my table, he seems to be fine.
He does tend to get a bit entertaining when he's had a few pints.
Oh, he sounds like a good laugh, though. I mean, imagine someone like Rupert there have some great stories.
A whole load of nonsense, but he does
Oh.
tell a good story.
You know, hot air warms the heart, you know that.
I'd like to pay for a flagon
Okay.
as well.
You buy yourself some ale, and he just contentedly goes back to what he was doing.
Can I, like, once we get Rupert now back to the car, to like put him to sleep?
Yep.
To like have a nice snooze, and we'll see you in the morning. You'll thank me for this tomorrow. At least you'll get a good 8 hours sleep.
I think Wraith will have come with you to help and get him out the door and everything, and then we'll have assisted in maybe lifting the tub so that we could pop him under there after he'd been put to sleep. Just, there we go, safe and sound.
Mind his toes. He's a lanky bastard.
I was gonna make a really dark joke, and I'm not. I'm really not.
Oh god. I'm worried now.
No, I resisted. But
Good on ya.
no, yeah, we'll leave him in there and then head back to the tavern. And Bruce's gonna join you in buying a flag and just be like, for God's sake,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Where are we going?
Just riding aimlessly into the night at the moment.
So
We can't go back, but what's out there? Does anybody know the lay of this land? I certainly don't.
I don't know. I don't. What journey were we going in? Were we going north or south?
You were going, if I remember where we were, you were going east, I believe. Yes.
So we're going into Orlais.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
so
go
we're going
back towards the
into
middle of
Orlais.
Orlais, I think, rather than the sort of edge that you were on.
Yeah, because we were at like near. We weren't near the front lines, but we were like a little back from like kind of like the front lines. I think it was.
How big is
Orlais.
yeah, for scale, is it
I
about
can-
the same size as France, for instance, or is it like the same
can-
size as East Anglia? You know, a bit,
I will bring a map.
because the front lines, you know, what's the depth of a front line? You know, it's especially an old style front line. I somehow doubt that, you know, it's going to be tanks and javelin skirmishes on these front lines. It's probably
Oh, I
going to be a
hope that
bit more
works. Yes, it does.
pike and musket.
So that's basically the map. So Orlais is probably like twice as 2-3 sizes bigger than Orlais than Ferelden, and I would say Ferelden's probably like maybe the
Is that
size of the.
scalable?
I don't know if it's a scale.
I can't tell. It might just be a legend.
It's the. It won't go any bigger for me on the screen, I'm afraid. I don't know.
I make it out.
Yeah, I can't quite make it out. I'd imagine if you put probably Ferelden as maybe like the size of the UK if you squished it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
then-
so it is about
Yeah.
so it is about the same size as France. Okay, so
Yeah.
we must be. So what? We're in the Dales, I guess.
Yeah, we're like in the Dales. I would. Yeah. So this part would be quite.
Would
this
the front
part
lines be the
was-
mountains? Do you think?
Yeah, the front lines are the mountains because that's the frostbite mountains because they're like the spine. It's like a spine that goes all the way up of mountains. So that bit it's a natural like defensive against the dark.
The Grey Wardens aren't really pushing into Ferelden at the moment, are they?
No.
They're more containing it.
Yeah.
So they'd be on well, in and around the mountains, I guess. Strong defensive points.
Yeah.
So it won't be that far away if we were like a sort of a couple of stages removed.
Mm.
Can't be more than, I don't know, 50 kilometers from the front lines.
Yeah. So we're probably like in the middle of like where the A maybe is in the Dales,
Yeah.
maybe something like that. So the
Maybe
Dales
even
are
the
kind
S
of.
if it's
So the
yeah.
Dales, the best way to describe the Dales is kind of a mixture between no man's land and like recovering forestry and a little bit of some mountains like
hills.
I'm trying to think of it like midwestern,
Oh right, okay.
those kind of like I'm not sure of where the area would like kind of like the Rockies kind of thing. So that's how it's where the elves settled. So and where basically humans they battled constantly over this area. So there's parts of it that are like hugely forested, and then there are parts that are like this no man's land come meet midwestern kind of mountains that's all been
Cool.
like so that's the Dales. But
What's
yeah, we're
south
in-
of this map, or is it
So
basically
that's-
the end?
south is like so this is where they called wilds. So you've got the Arbor Wilds, and this is where it's like very densely vegetated. It's kind of the environment of like not quite the Amazon vegetation, but like the concentration of it. And there's a lot of like Dalish tribe. There are a few Dalish tribes that move about there, and they are extremely hostile to outsiders. So
A bit
and
like
then there-
wood elves from Skyrim.
yeah, and there's also rumors to be like apostate mages who are crazy and mad, or like witches of the wilds, which are like possibly possessed mages who they're like Flemeth. She's like a big she's one of the biggest legends. She's a ancient witch that is still around.
Which is what's the bit at the top? The coon.
The Kuhn basically is what the Qunari are. The Qunari follow the Kuhn, which is basically kind of like a Vulcan Bible, is the kind of best distinction. They're
Vulcan Star Trek or Vulcan Roman?
Vulcan Star Trek.
Okay.
Their names signify also their roles. So, like you have the Arashok, which is like the head guy. Then you have like
Second.
the. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Carry on. I just accidentally. My Discord decided to start flaring, and I was like, I'll just quickly check that, and it just blocked all the cameras. So I was like, no, I'll wait till after this.
You have Stens, which are like your foot soldier kind of things, and then there are like the Ben Hasrath, which are the spies, and they also re-educate people.
Yes.
So in the Kuhn you have your role, that is your name, that's who you encompass, that's what you are, and they follow the Kuhn, and they die by the Kuhn. But you can also willingly join the Kuhn as like a outsider. You can become one of the Qunari. The Qunari kind of like name encompasses like just the people that follow the Kuhn kind of thing, and they came from elsewhere and have came to this part of Thedas, and they live mostly on the little island at the top. Saharon, they battle between Tevinter to control it, so that's that's a battled island. It's constantly changing hands between.
Is it like a? Sorry, sorry, I interrupted. Is it more of like an insurgency, or a front line, or occupation?
Saharon's quite interesting because there's like 4 factions that are fighting for control.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, you have Tevinter, you have the Qunari, you have the Fog Warriors, and you also have the original inhabitants that try and live in this chaos.
My God.
Yeah, it's constantly changing hands, Shaheron. Parts of it are like controlled by each like faction, and then they're always constantly kind of warring in between. The Anderfells is the home of the Grey Wardens. It's where the Grey Wardens like main base is, and it's one of the ones that's not really well known. There's not really much spoken about it. And Navarra is probably.
Is it because it's boring, or because it's?
No, they don't really talk like they don't really deal with much outsiders very well. They're very more laid back. It's one of the ones I'm not really like too clued up on because not enough a lot of people play or write it. So it's like,
I guess because they're mostly focused on their mission to cleanse Darkspawn rather than anything else.
It's a very cold place as well. It's one of them. It's like a very mountainous and cold place from the lore. And Navarra is where all the necromancers love, because they basically love the dead more than their own people, and their cities are like necropolises almost. It's really weird. And they build massive crypts to their ancestors and stuff, and they like house all their like corpses and things. And Wraith would love it. He would actually love it. He would absolutely love Navarra. The only thing is that Navarra and Tevinter constantly fight.
Is there any nations that aren't constantly fighting from this description?
Nobody messes with Antiva, because Antiva is the capital of assassins. They have a guild. They have a guild called the House of Repose, which basically will honor any contract, regardless of age, until completion.
Yikes.
Yeah. Regardless of how old the contract is, they will like
Wait,
if it's
how old
like
the contract is, or how old the contractee is?
no, how old if say for example, well, in Inquisition, there Montiliate is named in a contract, and they are told if they try and like regain their position, the House of Repose has to like basically murder them. So there's a whole side mission where you have to you have to deal with this contract, and you eventually get out of it, but it's from like 5 centuries ago.
Oh my god, okay.
Or something like that. This contract is like ancient, and you're still this was like so long ago. Yeah, but we're the House of Repose. We still honor it, and they are also the main country that keeps out the Quinari from the rest of Thedas, because they're it's all assassins, so they basically just like assassinate everybody. There's 10 different assassin guilds in Antiva. It's a plutocracy. So there's a royal family, but they don't have any power. Then there's the Talons, which are the assassin guilds, and then you have the merchant princes, which basically run all the economy, basically. So the royals don't really do much. They're just like a head figure. Ravane is full of gypsies, basically, and they are very much like Romani, have Romani origins, where they are a matriarchal kind of society, and they deal with the mages aren't really oppressed there because they're seen as it's like that's what they're intended to be. They're intended to like use their magic to like help and stuff. So they do like fortune tellings and stuff. They do they deal with spirits for helping like with decisions and things. Yes, I know, dog. And then you have Starkhaven Accord, which is the Free Marches, which is what it's really called. But it's all the city states are like independent, and they all come together if there's like a threat. But they're all like independently run. But they're a massive area.
HRE. HRE2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's a brief overview of the countries. I feel like I gibbered for a long time.
You're fine, honey. It's all interesting. All interesting. So
That's kind of what we need, though, because we ain't.
Yeah,
shit.
you need. That's fine. I'm more than happy to give her. There's certain things there's certain places that I know more about than others. Like the Anderfels, I've never really written a character from there, so I don't really know too much about it. There are only like the vague details I know. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun.
Well, after a long evening discussing what best to do, you all take your leave and go actually rest up for the night, back in your cart. As you return, you hear the sound of Rupert snoring from underneath the tub.
Does him being under the tub make it echo?
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking.
Yes, that's why you can hear him so loudly.
God damn it!
So do we? So we're currently going east. All we're doing really is is running away from the various interest groups that want him.
Yeah.
Do we have a destination in mind?
It depends if there's like a Grey Warden outpost in that direction or not, or
How? I mean, this is if it's the size of France and we're on a horse and cart. It's going to be a while if we try to cross the whole of Orlais. So realistically, we're staying in Orlais for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Unless we take the big road and go, I don't know, the Anderfels, for instance.
That would take probably a month to get to.
Oh yeah, if not longer.
At least.
What's the standard speed for a horse and cart? Like about walking speed, maybe a bit faster? How big is France? Listen, I like to know what I'm talking about. So I like to double check and triple check and stuff.
Well,
Maps.
as Anna descends into maths, and the rest of you
I've done it
descended.
again. Help.
As you're sort of all asleep overnight, you all seem to have the same dream, which is of a quite gigantic dragon-like creature with a really bad overbite, roaring as hundreds of small figures are charging towards a wall. You notice that the wall seemed to be held shut by enormous constructs, and you see lots of dwarves around just scurrying between the legs of these constructs. And
so
as the walls begin to crack, everything sort of just snaps out, and you all wake up at the same time.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh.
Visions of the dragon. Did anybody else have some terrible nightmares last night?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Kilometers.
Was it, did anybody else notice the dwarves? That was awesome, wasn't it?
I would have to assume so. I've never been there, but
I've been there once. It wasn't pleasant.
10
Then-
kilometers an hour. 700. Shut up. Shut up.
Damn you, maps boy!
Mute your mic when you're mumbling into it.
Remember to unmute when you're done with your maths.
Yes. I'm gonna have to take this dog out to pee as well because he's just pawing at me. Yeah, we're gonna have to go to Orzammar with that. I don't want to go to the dwarves.
Where is Orzammar on this map?
It is north and it is into Ferelden. So we would have to go through
Ferelden.
the mountains. So we'd have to double back on ourselves and go through the mountains.
Oh my god, is that it there?
Yeah, it's the little red dot. It's in Ferelden.
Close to the border?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so not the one that's miles away.
No, that's Denerim. That's the capital.
Okay. That's concerning if we're having to go into Darkspawn territory with the drunkard.
Well, we can keep him sedated. We'll keep him asleep. And just like wake him up for an hour or two and then just like put him back to sleep.
It would take about 2 months for us to cross Orlais to get to Anderfels. So unless we want to spend the next however many sessions just going from village to village and dealing with idiots, we're
No.
probably going to be doubling back, or at least
Yeah.
staying in Orlais anyway.
Well, with that dream and the dragon, and if Orzammar falls, that's a very detrimental thing. Because with
Are we enough to do anything about it?
I
really?
doubt it. I really doubt it. But either Orzammar is about to fall, or it has fallen. So we probably should go back and warn Yevon. Or, well, actually, no, Yevon probably would maybe, or if we've had that dream, if we've all had that dream, then
Yevon
he's
will.
maybe already had that dream, so he's maybe already aware of it. But would he turn the army towards Orzammar?
Especially after all that fuss with the Tevinter mages trying to persuade him to do that. Why did they want to go for Orzammar again?
Well,
It's the entrance to the deep roads, isn't it? So
it's
like that-
one of the
One of
entrances to the deep roads. There are many entrances, but there's only 2 cities that remain, and Kalsharok is, Kalsharok is secretive, and they're very insular. If they have to come to you. You don't find Kalsharok dwarves, they find you. Orzammar is the only one that deals with the surface and is the only surviving main city. And they're also the main suppliers of lyrium, which is used.
Maybe
For
that's
magic.
why the Tevinter were so eager for it.
Yeah, I mean, the Tevinter do have their own dwarves. I don't think they have as much access to lyrium as
Mm-mm.
Orzammar does. I'm not 100% sure on that because we don't know much about Tevinter either, because that's what the next game is going to focus on. So we're all like, hee Tevinter, because it's interesting and dark and secretive and like the bad guys. So they do have dwarves. I just don't know if how much lyrium supply they have. If the Orzammar has like the main supply for the rest of Zadis. So it's like
I'm wondering, because there was a few sessions ago, or maybe longer now, the Tevinter were trying to convince Yevon to send a party to Orzammar.
I think there was a hadn't Orzammar like shut its doors completely to the outside, like it had sealed itself completely?
I can't remember what they wanted.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
No, I mean in the dwarves themselves, like for this game, they had sealed themselves off because they're in Ferelden, and Ferelden had fallen to the Darkspawn. I think they had sealed themselves off as a last ditch effort to like
stay alive.
I mean, they probably still open their doors to like get supplies and stuff in, but I can't imagine they'd probably like regiment. They'd probably make sure there was like no Darkspawn about and stuff. But yeah. I'm gonna take the dog out. I am willing to go with either direction, but I shall be back. He's crying at me now.
It's got to be done.
It's got to be done. All right. Well, as you're all sort of sitting around breakfast, I imagine this will probably also delay till Amy's back, but as you're sitting around breakfast, you just hear the sound of Manny going, "Oh, I think he's over there somewhere." And you look up and you see two sort of somewhat finely dressed blonde gentlemen going, "Oh, thank you." And they walk over and go, "Hello, everyone. I'm very sorry. We are looking for our friend Robin. We seem to have been separated horribly in the fleeing from that camp."
What camp?
Well, you know the camp where Robin was.
Do we know a Robin?
No, never heard of a Robin.
Oh, but your friend over there. He gestures towards Manny, who waves happily at you.
Fucking Manny.
He's over here.
Oh, Manny's our friend, and well, he's a little bit simple. He's quite agreeable, as you probably found out. Perhaps a little bit too much. He's one to just agree to anything, mostly. I'll go over and have a word with him and remind him about talking to strangers and saying yes to things.
I see. And as Wraith gets up and starts wandering over, they turn to Anna and go, "So, you sure you don't know any Robin? I can." He sort of slips his hand into a pocket and pulls out a small, but maybe 5 or 6 stack of coin and just sits it on the table next to him and goes, "I can be relatively persuasive."
How do you identify a Tevinter? Is it based on accent or attire, or are they particularly tall or short, or?
See, this is where we need Amy for. Amy
I
could
know.
tell you all of this immediately.
Okay, let's assume that. Do you think it would be plausible that I could identify someone as Tevinter? Based on mannerisms, accent,
I think
attire.
in this case you could tell if it was Tevinter or not.
Okay. And also, is there anyone else around?
You were literally on the side of a very small village. There's like 2 or 3 people like doing sort of stuff in the town square, but like moving stuff and cleaning stuff. Nothing that interesting.
Damn. Puts down hand axe with disappointment.
I'll just be giving Manny a lecture while you're doing this.
Yeah.
Remember what I said about the danger of strangers, right?
Oh yeah. I've not seen no stranger. Nope. Not seen one.
Well, I saw you talking to that man over there, and he
Oh.
said that you'd
Oh,
been talking about
well,
our friends.
Well, he knew my name. He came up and said the right Manny.
Oh.
So I assumed I'd met him. I didn't recognise him, but I assumed I'd met him.
That's very disconcerting, Manny. I think you should ready the cart. We may, at some point soon, need to make a rapid escape from these parts, depending on what these men want.
Oh,
But that's useful to know. You ready the horses. I'll get back to try and help out Anna.
all right then.
What's going on?
At this point, Ruth, I imagine, will walk from the cart. They just come back in to check on Rupert.
I've been haggling about how persuasive this guy can be. I haven't told him anything, of course, but I'm saying, well,
as Ruth
only
steps
7
out
coins.
and looks down, Anna is sitting at a table. In front of her is a small pile of coins and a very blonde gentleman in relative finery who goes, "Oh, you want to do a little more? Well, I can do a little more than that. Hang on. There you go." And just puts a second pile of coins in front of him and goes, "So, tell me, where can I find this Robin?" I think you're muted, Amy. Either you're muted or you're
Oh
just,
no,
you're
I
just
don't know who he's
dramatically
talking. Is he
reacting.
talking to? Is he talking to
He's,
Anna or
he's
is
talking to
strangers.
Anna at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm talking
Ruth
to
just,
these strangers.
Okay, Ruth just be like, just looks at Anna and just be like, oh, all right.
This Robin you're looking for, he left on a very fast cart yesterday, just before us. They sped him off, and I hear they're heading to Anderfels. Because they'll be able to hide him there. Yes. They'll be able to hide him there. One of the Grey Warden headquarters. You didn't hear this from me, of course.
I see. Well, but you cannot have any proof of this. You just heard he got on the car.
Yes. Well, they're
He,
trying to keep it as secret as possible, of course. They didn't want anyone to know.
he nods and goes, "Thank you," and he just puts the coins in a pile and back in his pocket. "Thank you," and turns round.
I'm going to get out my crossbow and level it at the back of his neck and say, "Excuse me, I believe I'm owed something."
And
Rafe will come through the door at this point and stop in his tracks at what he's seeing and just watch.
Ruth's to say, we're just like hanging, we're just like leaning against the wall, just be like,
He
yeah,
just
you
turns around and he
fine?
goes,
Are you alright?
"You do not point such a vulgar thing at Vincent. No. I suggest you put it away before I advise my colleague here to take it from you."
I'm just going to pull the trigger.
All right, roll.
I'm getting really goddamn sick and tired of these buggers.
You don't like the Vince.
I don't. Yeah, Vincent.
Since Ruth will know, these are definitely not to Vinter.
Oh. What are
they not?
they?
Are they Antibon?
They aren't even.
Oh, they're Antivan. Okay.
Hang
He
on.
could have just paid. It was not hard.
Oh, hang on. I need to bring the dice channel up before it blocks everyone's view.
20.
1 second. Oh, hang on. If I
And,
do,
Dex, I
this, and I put this there, then this shouldn't do that again. Yes, there we go. Shouldn't do it again. There we
I
go.
think it is Dex.
That is Dex, yes.
Oops. Don't roll. D20. +5. I forgot the space.
24,
baby!
yes. You shunk the arrow into his just below his collarbone. He spins around and a sort of plume of blood sprays from his shoulder. As he hits the floor, his friend doesn't react. He just looks at him on the floor and goes, "You have made a very big mistake, my friend."
He shouldn't have gone back on a deal. I'm going to get my hand axe out and say, now, am I going to pay myself from him, or are you going to give me the money?
The colleague just walks very calmly over towards you, just leans down so he's about maybe half a meter away from you in eye line, and just goes, "What is your name?"
Come on, pup. Come on, pup. You can't do this to me.
Have you forgotten your own name?
No.
No, he's gonna give you.
My name is Hugh. Hugh Janus.
Hugh James. Okay. Thank you.
That's the second time.
You keep asking me for names, man. Come on, you can't do this to me. I can't not say that. Oh God. They're gonna be like, oh.
There is a blur, and you feel a strange wet sensation running down your cheek.
Okay. Well, I would like to. I don't know. Do I want to slash with the hand axe or do I want to chop?
Did he spit in his face or like?
No, he's probably stabbed me. But that's fine.
I mean, I can only heal
Yeah.
so much.
Oh,
I guess hand axe to probably the neck as well.
okay. Roll.
Oh, that's the wrong channel. Hang on. He could, and I'd like to, as I, he should have just paid. I'd like to say as I go for him. Dot roll d20 plus 5. 5. Dual wield plus 5. It is only a small hand axe, so I'm sort of thinking it's not dual wield, but it's the size of a dual wield. You know, it's like a small hand hatchet instead of a a battle axe.
Yeah.
25, natural 20.
Nice. Well, you
The dice bot is
connect
nice
with the
too.
neck. He goes down in a fountain of blood, dropping the ear he's just cut off.
Oh, was that?
That's what it was.
Ouch.
Ruth's gonna pick it up and just be like, right, let's just put this back on with some healing magic.
The one on
Is
the
that how that works?
the one on the floor is like dragging
the movie
himself very
attachment.
slowly to the door.
Wraith
Wait,
is
which one's that? The one I
The
shot
first
with
one you
crossbow
shot with a
bolt?
crossbow is dragging himself very slowly to the door.
Wraith is stood in the doorway, still a little bit agog, but kind of looks down at this man and gets his staff and points it directly at him. And how shall I describe
Fireball, I think.
Nice,
No,
nice.
fireball's a little bit much, maybe, for the middle of this place. I don't know if
And
that's
also
what's the,
indoors
the
in a tavern with alcohol.
As you're
Flammable
holding your staff
substances.
mere inches from his face, he just looks up at you, grins, and just goes, "So, we make a deal, yes?"
No, I don't think so. My apologies.
You broke the last deal.
And
You could have just walked, you dumbass.
fires a frostbolt directly into his forehead.
Yeah, you don't need to roll. You're point blank. You're not going to miss him.
It's
Your
just,
point
I could
blank,
just
he's
imagine-
prone,
I could just imagine Wraith's face. He's so apologetic in his expression as well. It's just like, no, I'm so sorry.
Just business.
I'm afraid not.
Oh god,
This
I
isn't
can't believe
personal.
I
So
can't
you-
believe he's such an idiot.
So
Like,
you-
seriously, what an idiot. What? Ah, yes, let me just go back on a deal with armed people. Yes, that makes sense. You could have just taken them, left the money, and left.
But that would be like intelligence and common sense.
That's true. We are dealing with pups, patented NPCs.
Antevans are flamboyant as well. They're very. Antonio Banderas is probably the best example I could give for like an explanation of someone from Antiva. It's literally the
I
best
see, I
example.
Okay, that's why he went for the ear instead of the neck.
Yes.
And that is also why he is now dead.
Yes.
So
Antiva is very like Spanish flamenco, stabby, passion, blood. Yeah.
As the frozen body shatters into a million pieces, leaving behind just a very loose clothing and random pieces of jewelry, and the one who's got severed with the axe slowly stops making gurgling noises. You're now standing in the room with one and a half bodies What do you want to do?
Loot,
Loot.
valuables.
Who else was
We
in
need
the
money.
place? Is the innkeeper around? Who witnessed this?
The innkeeper just sort of like went to a back room when the two men entered.
Okay.
Very sensible of him. Very sensible.
Very. We should probably apologise.
After the looting.
Yeah, after the looting. After the.
All right. So you look to see what you can get. On the bodies are a couple of very fancy daggers, a couple of vials of poison. Both of them.
Daggers.
The one with the that you killed with the axe has a small pouch on his belt containing about 14 different ears,
Trophies.
all in various states of of decomposition. It looks like they were singed to sort of stop the blood leaking out of them.
Grim.
Surely you'd want to drain the blood, because otherwise it's just gonna pool and collect within the ear. Not speaking from experience. I guess Ruth will want the daggers for juniper coaxing.
Juniper
Yes, thank
bribing.
you.
I'll dibs
Juniper
the poison.
bribery.
I'll dibs the poison vials for the darts, and let's haul any
Oh,
everything
pull the
else
bod-
out of there.
Yeah, pull the body outside, and then we can like.
Leave a generous tip to the innkeeper,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then get
As-
the hell out of there.
As you go through the rest of the pockets, you eventually do find a note in one of the pockets that says target has fled on cart heading eastward. You must retrieve cargo, bring it to this location, and a detailed sort of drawn map of a location below it.
So do we go to that location and see who it was, or do we just run away from that location?
Can we compare it to our map and
Yes.
see where it is?
You compare it to your map and find it's about maybe 2 miles north of where you are now.
Oh wow, okay. The good news is they knew that he was on a cart. So that first cart that went out would be a nice decoy. And it also means that there's no reason why they should have doubted my story. What a bunch of bozos. Seriously. Oh my god, I can't believe that.
Well, let me interject. They happen to know who Manny was. When I spoke to him, they said Manny said that they called him by name. So it sounds like maybe they've got our number, and well, if nothing else, we've certainly left a trail here that they're going to follow for sure.
I think we should probably go to this location and take care of them.
Is there a time? Is there a time for the meetup?
No, it just says bring. It just says bring the cargo here. He must be alive.
I was gonna say, maybe we could, arrive a day or two early and just prepare some surprises.
You mean a nice surprise for them? I mean,
Something sharp,
Nothing.
I think.
nothing says surprise like an ambush.
Poison caltrops, I feel is often the nicest form of surprise.
What?
Especially for assassins who they wear ever such thin-soled shoes. They seem averse to the large clumpy boots, and it feels oh so good to get them back with their own bloody vengeance. Jesus, assassin bastards.
We could also pretend. One of us could pretend to be Alistair, and then
We do have a
surprise.
set of
Sorry,
clothes.
we do have a set of clothes.
Well, two if you wash the blood.
We could have this ambush. Set it up quite nicely.
Who would you suggest dresses as Alistair? I suppose maybe I'm human.
The man
Well-
himself.
Do I
perhaps.
match the description? I'd need a wig.
We'd need to bulk you out on a little because he is he's a strong lad, Alistair. Oh, do we use him as him anyway?
They want him alive. There's no that we don't need to fear him being dead. They want him
Yeah.
alive.
No.
They'll try and kill us, of course, when they find out, but they won't try and kill him.
And we could ask them. We could get some answers from them as well.
Potentially.
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 Do we just use him as bait then?
Well,
Save
if
trouble?
we're taking the cart, then he's going to have to come with us regardless. So
Yes.
perhaps I don't know if it would give us the advantage, but perhaps posing as his captors and presenting him and saying, "Oh, we found your men dead in the road, but we captured the man that did it." Something
Could also
like that.
could also hide it, not actually make it look like he's bound, but he's actually able to. I don't know, maybe punch someone in the face. Or he could probably do that anyway with his hands bound.
He'll have to sober up a little bit.
Oh, we've got a spell for that. It's fine.
Fair.
I'll just hang
Called
him
Herod
up.
the dog.
Oh, we'll just give him a nightmare and he'll be right as rain.
Wonder if he had the same nightmare as we did.
I'm surprised he didn't wake up, actually. Should probably go and check on him again.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
after
so-
those lads.
Let's get out to the
What
cart.
about Manny? What do we do about Manny?
What about Manny? Is he alright?
Yes, I
He's
told him
given
to get
away-
the cart ready. He'll stay with the cart as usual, I would think. We need somebody
Will
to
he be
ready.
okay?
He should be alright. Just not pretty sure if we leave him with the innkeeper, he should probably keep him out of trouble. Yes?
Well, it sounds like we've got some sort of plan. As good as any.
I mean,
And long term, are we returning to Ozima, or are we? We can't go back to the camp. Not with Sorry, Rupert.
all these R names. I don't know. I think we should maybe see what we discover from these Tevinter. Maybe they'll shed more light on, or have some clues about Ozma or not.
Perhaps.
So will we go there and wait for them?
Yes, it seems like the only step we have ahead of us. I really can't think of anything more. We need the
Yeah.
information, as you say.
Yeah, the information, and also it would be nice to not to have. We could at least get them off our back for a little while. We won't have to constantly look over our shoulder and wonder if every Tavine we meet is out here to get us, or an Antivan is here to stab us, or Quinari is about to blow us up.
Well, let's get out to the cart then. I told Manny to get things ready. I had a feeling things might go a little bit sideways in here.
Well, it is Rupert, and it is a tavern, and he is an idiot. I dread to think how Yevon has coped, and now we have to deal with him.
Alright.
Sedation may be the only reason.
So are you taking the car, or are you going to this location?
Yes.
Sounds like the
Yes.
plan.
We're gonna stake out and I don't know. Are we gonna set traps? Some wards?
Well, let's make an approach and see what's going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See what it's like.
Cautious approach.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be almost constantly running tracking to see if I can see anyone else.
Okay.
Actually, I do have stealth +5. Maybe I could go on a bit ahead.
Mhm.
You guys, wait half an hour, and then go towards the location at a slow pace, and hopefully by then I'll have scoped out anything.
Yeah. If you notice something, you could like leave like a piece of cloth or something for us to like be alert. Or
We've recently come into some cloth, haven't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Courtesy of our dead friend.
Oh
Or
yeah.
two.
Or two.
I mean, I guess the guy who was shattered, just keep that as a disguise for one of us, and the other one we can make to rags. It's always useful to have a few rags.
Oh yeah. Bandages. Everything.
Okay. So as you make your way towards this this location with Anna out front, as you get to maybe about half a mile away, Anna notices the sign of smoke burrowing to the sky.
Okay. I guess we'll tie a rag around a tree branch on the road, for starters. Did we arrange a code? One rag for danger. No, 2 rags for danger, 1 rag for warning.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll do.
Okay.
Also, sorry, how many coins did the man have on him?
Let's just say he had a good bag of 50.
50. All right. Well, we left 10 with the innkeeper, who's probably having the time of his life right now.
Yeah, he's probably made his season in like a night.
In a single night. Yeah, that'll keep him tied over winter.
He'll appreciate the Grey Wardens as well, because he was told it was Grey Wardens that did it, so he's like, oh, boost.
The only
Nice,
cost
good
to him
reputation.
is having to clean up the slowly thawing parts of a dead man.
Oh, I guess we just sort of swept them up into like some of the rags and just chucked them out with the other guy.
How explosive was the shattering? I guess that's...
It was
a few lumps, or
it was more
200.
more crumbling to a million pieces rather than like shattering into like 4. So yeah,
It's not so bad.
So he's basically, yeah, it's kind of like the opposite of pink mist.
Everything above your neck's going to be a fine red mist.
pink tubes. Right.
Powder.
Salsa.
Right. So, and as Anna is done tying rags and goes to investigate further, as they look into a clearing ahead, they see a house in the middle that looks like it's like there's a massive hay pile next to it that's been set on fire. And as you look around to see what's happened, you see a couple of dead and Tevan bodies lying around. And as you look across, you see 2 or 3 large Kunaris just going, "They're not here!" And they just leave through the forest.
We're too late. Okay.
Oh well, that's fine. They killed each other, that's fine.
For God's sake. Do I investigate? Do I leave, or do I retreat and tell you guys? Do I investigate on my own, or do I come back to you guys? Okay. I guess I'd like to make it's a clearing, you say?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a circuit stealthily of the clearing, just to make sure there's no other people hiding, other traps. If you need me to roll tracking or stealth, that's fine.
At the moment, the fire is creeping closer and closer to the house. Just be aware.
How long do you reckon? Do you reckon I have time to go all the way around before it gets to the house?
Depends how much not detailed, how thorough you're being.
All right. I'll very little thoroughness. I'm going to go around the edge of the clearing, and then I'm going to bolt for the house before it catches fire. So I'm not going to roll stealth. I'm not going to roll tracking. I want to see if there's anything obvious, but otherwise I'm going to go into the house.
Okay. Are you putting the fire that's outside out, or are you leaving it to sort of crackle and burn?
Is there a way? Because I don't have any water buckets or anything on me. So I don't know how I'd put it out.
It's straw and fire, so
Just stamp on it, I guess. It's a
quite,
big pile.
It's quite a large straw pile, yeah.
I don't think that would. I don't know that there's a way that I could put it out, really. If I waft it, it'll just get bigger. If I stamp on it, I'm going to be swallowed up. Alright, Okay, forget the clearing. I'm going to run out, do a quick check of the bodies, see if I can find a piece of paper, or a signet ring, or anything of importance, and then kick down the door and have a look in the cottage. I may die because there may be people watching and waiting, but we need information. We need it. I've
Okay.
already lost near this session. I'll probably lose another if I'm not careful.
Okay. So you rush out and look around. Most of the bodies are just, they look like, again, just kind of similar to the man that you killed in the tavern, just relative finery. As you run into the house, you kind of run through the house, and you find there seems to be a tall female Devinter who has been basically bludgeoned to death. And as you look down the body, the only thing that you can really see is that her jewellery seems surprisingly clean.
Clean.
And as you...
As in not bloodied?
Yeah. Well, as in, you've seen Devinter, they tend to have jewellery that's kind of sort of left to kind of, not sort of age, but this one looks like it's been properly, like, actually cleaned and cared for.
Interesting. She's dead.
She's dead. Very dead.
Very dead.
As in, you can't, there's no face left, it's just like a sort of hollowed in skull.
Okay, very dead.
Kaput.
Alright, did I find any paper on the bodies outside?
Do me an awareness check.
Okay. If I didn't, actually, regardless of whether I did or didn't, I'd like to give a pat down for paper, or just look around the room possibly for it. Roll d20 plus 3.
You're really getting good
23.
rolls today.
God damn.
As you look around, you see a sort of scribe satchel lying next to the desk.
Ooh, useful. I'll grab that.
Mm-hmm.
How close is the fire? Probably pretty close now.
The fire's beginning to take the house.
Okay. I'll grab whatever's quickest, whatever jewelry is easiest to take off.
Okay, you can grab a necklace, you can grab a couple of rings.
Couple of rings. Signet rings are often.
As you kind of lean down to thing, you notice that there's a strange. You find your gaze going to the necklace more and more, and you're finding it harder to sort of tear your eyes away from it.
I don't like that. Okay. Forget the plan. I'm going to take out the hand axe and chop off her hand and take the hand instead of the rings.
Okay. You're taking that. I take it you're taking the hand with the rings on it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Listen, she's well dead. Yes, it's grim, but I don't want to die on fire staring at a necklace. So I'm going to chop the hand off and just sort of hold it and hold the satchel in the other hand and burst out the front door because the house is probably on fire by now. Did I find any paper on the chaps outside?
On the chaps outside, you just found the same note as before. It's just
Okay.
the cargo has left.
All right, burst out, and get to another.
You kind of get to a
Get away
safe
from
distance as the house is fully ablaze now, and the cart just turns up to see
I
the
was
house
gonna
like
ask
properly
if
burning
we
at this
saw
stage.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if we could see the smoke from where we were.
Now
before
you're
coming around the
basically
corner.
in the edge of the clearing. You see this massive house ablaze, and Anna just clutching this severed hand and scribe satchel.
Oh,
Yeah, so
what's
about-
Anna
We can
done?
pop our heads out and just be like, "Are you all right?"
Here, have a hand.
Jeez. Just gonna pop it off to your head. I don't want a hand.
He's not
Hot
quite as
potato.
put off and just- Oh,
I deal with the living, not the dead.
where did you get this, Anna? Why have you given me a hand?
There's an extremely dead Tevinter woman in that house. There's some extremely dead Tevinter and Tevans outside the house with the same note we found. And I figured the rings might be interesting. We could help identify the body. Unfortunately, she had a weird necklace on and was giving the heebie-jeebies, so I left that. It's probably on fire by now. Looks around at house on fire. I'm not sure whether the Antevans got the Tevinter or the Tevinter was got by the Canary, who left shortly before I arrived, or just as I arrived.
Tamari,
we
you
could-
say? And Wraith looks around towards the edges of the clearing.
Oh
Paranoid.
yeah, this has been a busy place here in the last little while. And I also found this big satchel of paperwork. Hopefully some of it's useful. Otherwise, whoops.
Well, hopefully it'll give us an idea of where to avoid.
Well, some reading.
God, I tell you
material before bed, I suppose.
The
Yeah.
between the Canary, the Antevans, and the Tevinter, where exactly can we go that is not likely to involve us death?
I mean,
I didn't even kill these people. They're already dead. I killed the other Antevans earlier, but these Antevans I didn't even touch. And I didn't touch the Tevinter. And I didn't bother with the Canary because the fire was getting closer to the house. And,
well, we either go south and go further into the wilds, where danger will increase regardless.
less organized danger, but danger nonetheless.
Yes, but if we are followed, we won't be the only ones who will be targeted, so they'll be targeted also by any clans that dwell down there. Or we go north, try and find a ship and go to the free marches, but we run the risk of. But what does Yevon want us to do? Where are we supposed? I know we're supposed to protect Alistair, Robin, Rupert, whatever his name is. But where?
Yes. We really could have done better with some guidance. Pointed us somewhere. But
A vague coordinate would have been nice.
I suppose there was no time to plan.
No, but I mean, Anna, you've been with him the longest. You should know at least somewhere we could go. No?
This isn't
Where's
very
the nearest-
reassuring, Anna.
Where's the nearest, would I know of the nearest, Grey Warden HQ?
Most of them are kind of pop-up, so not really.
I guess when you're
Um,
close to a front line,
Mm.
you don't want
The-
to be in one place too long.
As
There
you're...
are outposts all over Thedas. There's usually one in every city.
Yeah.
But they're more like safe houses than like meetup points. Most countries don't have like a organized place. It's more of like a informal.
It's more of a militia then.
Yeah, it's more of a
Hmm.
militia. There's not that many Grey Wardens usually aren't seen a lot unless there's a blight, which we've got. So and obviously this blight has swept through Ferelden already, so there's more demand for us. Whereas in a normal, without a blight, they're very few and far between. They're like witchers. They're not common. It's only during a blight that their numbers usually increase to like combat against the darkspawn. But
So yeah, as Pete said, they'd probably be like pop-up kind of things more now.
As you sort of look around, Manny appears next and goes, do you want me to take that bag for you?
Let's have a look through it first. Let's set the cart going back. Oh, well, not back to the same village. Let's go start trundling towards the next village and read through the paper on our way.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Figure out what direction we need to go
As you, the cart sets off and you look through, you find many scraps of paper that look like they've been written in a very fancy Deventer hand.
Alright then.
There is one that seems to be more like a diary, and you see lots of copies of the same letter that again says, get the cargo back. Which one are you reading? I suppose Wraith can read Deventer, can't he?
Yeah.
So you look through it, there is a diary. The diary seems to start with, I can't believe he's done this. The idiot, the fool, I can't believe he's done this. Why did I ever?
Well, that seems happy.
Then you scroll further saying, I visited him twice today. I can't believe my father has locked him up. Then you see he's escaped. I don't know where he's gone. I must track him down. And then you see a note saying, I finally found a lead. He's going by the name Robin in some stupid acting troupe. He can't act. Why is he doing this?
So this is obviously the guy that's after Alistair.
And as you get to the sort of last of the pile, you find a very well-worn piece of paper that seems to be folded up neatly. And as you pick that letter up and open it, it says, "To my darling Annabella, I don't wish to leave you like this, but tomorrow I need to speak to your father. I need the aid of Deventer in pushing back the Darkspawn. I owe it to those who I let down in Denerim. I need his support. I have to go and speak to him. I will remember our mornings, and I'll leave you this amulet to remember me. I hope this is not goodbye forever. Benjamin."
Oh, there's Benjamin. Oh.
I have a feeling that all of this makes sense of how Alistair escaped from the Deventer. And a terrible feeling that that amulet you mentioned back in
Well,
the
the
house.
magic one.
Yes, if this is his, well, I don't want to assume too much, but perhaps a sweetheart. I don't want to think that he would manipulate some poor girl like this, but, well, it really seems like he may have. And she may be laying dead in that house as a result.
She's not lying.
Cooking.
She was tied up, and she was very dead.
Well, okay. She wasn't tied up. She just had her face caved in. But I'll just go with what you said. They weren't.
I thought
She wasn't tied out, her face was caved in. No, just big difference.
I thought she'd been like chained to a wall for some reason.
No.
Makes it easier to beat a face in if this one's chained to a wall.
Have you met Kunari before?
Well, your arms get tired holding up the person. You gotta.
So
I guess you could lie him down.
the Quinari, the Kossith, which is what the race is called. They're like horned. They're like huge. Basically, a tiefling without a tail.
Right. Okay.
And not and like pale skinned, white hair usually. But yeah, imagine like a tiefling without a tail. That's your Kossith Kunari, and they're huge.
Right. Okay.
They're huge.
Okay.
In the second game, he basically chops a guy's head off in front of a whole bunch of people without even batting an eyelid. It's like their horns are really cool as well. Like they can they can grow multiple and they grow really long as well. But not all Kossith have horns. But yeah. Her face is totally bashed in with one hit.
Yeah, just
one hit.
pow.
Yep. As you continue to look through, you pull out another letter, and it just smells incredibly strong of perfume. And as you pull that out, you hear across the room, and Rupert seems to be stirring in his sleep.
Okay, quickly read it and quickly burn it, or throw it out or something, because that smell's gonna.
It just seems to be it's a letter that just seems to be like full of like scoring out and stuff. It looks like whatever was written has been erased over time, but it smells very strongly of perfume. And all you can hear from Rupert is sort of mumbling and then repeating the words Annabella and then mumbling again.
Oh dear.
Oh, sorry, Alistair. We did not save your sweetheart.
I don't think we could have saved her, to be honest.
No.
She did not have a face when I got there.
A bit too late.
We were a bit too late. Sorry. Oh, I feel bad now.
You incinerate the letter. The whole cart is still smelling quite strong of this perfume.
Crack open a window. Like, really? Yeah, we have a proper fancy cart now. Remember?
Oh yeah, we do.
A fancy cart that you can open a window when you burn things. So as you head off down the road towards the next bit, we will stop there and carry on with this next time.
Cool.
Oh, are we gonna have to go to Orzammar?
I thought you were going to say, "Oh, poor Alistair."
No.
No,
I mean that too, but you know.
Maybe he doesn't have to know.
He's such an idiot.
So yes, that will do us for this week. I just need to do our usual end of stream stuff. So first of all, there's the affiliate links if you want to get money off either dndice.co.uk or gemhammer.com, which is wonderful math rocks or things to augment your game. You get money off with Penance RPG at checkout there, so use that, have fun with it. Next, Mr. Eden, are you doing any streams anytime soon?
Probably on Saturday. Probably back to some Clone Hero in the afternoon. But aside from that, nothing planned right now.
Alright, cool. I'll let you find Eden over at Monkey Magic Eden. As for ourselves, our next streams will be tomorrow night. We'll be doing... I might be doing something. Depends how I'm feeling. I think there's an overlasting tomorrow if I'm thinking right. So I'll maybe be doing something. Tuesday with myself, Tom and Zeph playing some Deep Rock. Then some indie horror after it. Thursday more indie horror. Friday, there's no stream early on Friday because I'm away out to work thing for my family. I might be back for the Sons of the Forest later because that doesn't start till like 11:30 midnight, so I'll wait and see. And then next Sunday will be Dark Tide. So yeah, that'll do us. Thank you everyone for watching along today. We'll just find someone to raid out to. And we know nobody on. Wonderful.
Oh well.
Oh, hang on, Bunny's though. He's playing Red Dead Redemption, so we'll just raid in him.
Cowboys!
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 Cowboys! Alright, well we'll raid in a
Boys are
bunny,
pal.
so yeah, until next time folks, you will have a great the best of your weekend, and have a great rest of the week, and we will see you all next time. So until then, you all take care. Good night.
Bye!
Goodbye.